Like, walk us through that moment and what ended up happening.
Well, I had left the office that day. I was assigned to the narcotic division because I had a police dog, and I lived only a few miles from the courthouse. So I took my vest off and laid it over the chair, and I picked up the dog, and we headed home. I washed my patrol car. I took her inside, let her uh, enjoy the air condition, and all the deputies were tied up for whatever reason, calls or court, and the dispatcher defaulted to me and said, "Hey, would you go out to this Air Force Base Section 8 housing that he had received over 200 calls from that area up until that time?" And I took the call, drove the speed limit, no sirens. I actually stopped and talked to a fellow investigator along the way. And I arrived on scene, let the dispatcher know, hey, I was 1081, which means I was in the area. And I circled through the cul-de-sac, and 8 males ran from me. And I just kept driving, drove the cul-de-sac, radioed the dispatcher they had left. I'd be there for a few more minutes. And when I returned, the males didn't leave. They stayed put. I positioned my Suburban in an angle where I could see the crowd. And as I got out, I knew 6 of them. One of them was very unfamiliar. I hadn't seen him before. I radioed out, got out of the car. The dog began to bark, doing her intimidation thing, which the dog was fairly new in the area. So they hadn't really learned about police dogs there. I got out and asked the guys. They told them they need to leave. They were skipping school. They were dealing drugs. They were gambling. Uh, they had loud music, and so I knew them all from previous encounters. So I sent them on their way. But the one kid that I didn't know had a piece of plastic between his finger and thumb, which at the time crack cocaine was very prominent in our area. And stopped him and asked him what his name, and he stuck the crack in his pocket. He wouldn't answer me. I asked him again, could I pat him down? He said, sure. I said, do you have any guns? He never said a word. I didn't mean to say sure. He just nodded. And then he nodded again. As I patted him down, I searched his waistline for weapons. And then I went to the pocket where he had put what I felt to be my probable cause to be there was crack cocaine. After I patted him for weapons, I reached for that pocket. It had a hole in the pocket, and I was like, So I shook the pants leg. The crack fell out the bottom. He turned to run. I grabbed him on the arm very forcefully and said, relax, you're under arrest. He immediately went for my weapon.
Wow.
All right. And then he got on top of me, and the other guys were starting to come in and chanting and saying what they were going to do to me. They had actually planned this assault, and had this new thing that just came out called a bailout system. And I hit the button on my gun belt. The dog came out. The other guys ran off because they saw the dog come in, and she knocked the suspect off of me.